In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started with Flipgrid, which is an amazing video chat and engagement platform, great for asynchronous learning. So on the Flipgrid website, flipgrid.com, you can sign up with your Google or Microsoft account. If you have an account, you'll log in through your whatever account you have, and it takes you to your grids. So a grid is kind of like a class. So I would click Add New Grid, and I would call this something like Miss Venturino, period 1, Science, 2020, 2021. You can make it so that students have to join with their school email, so that just adds a layer of protection. Since my account is already set up, it knows that it needs to be our school domain, so you would type that in. So for us at sweetwaterschools.net. You can also manually put in your students, or if this is something to use with your PLC, then you could do this educator learning community, but that isn't as protected as school email for student use. So I'm going to call this, you can give it a unique flip code. It's not as important, but that's okay. So I'm going to call this Venturino 2021, and then click next. And so then here's where you would add your school email. So at sweetwaterschools.net for the domain. So that just makes sure that only individuals with that domain can join. And I click next. And so now my grid is ready. So I'll go to my grid. So a grid is kind of like a class, and within each grid, you would create a topic. So those topics are more like assignments. If you co-teach with someone, you can do add a co-pilot, and then you could both manage that grid. So I'll click add new topic. And so it opens up a new topic, and I would call this class intros or whatever the assignment is. Give students a prompt to answer. You can limit the recording time, so depending on the assignment, but teaching multiple classes with multiple kids, keeping them down to 30 seconds or so, especially at the beginning, to keep kids concise. You can turn on moderation, which means that students will submit, you'll watch it, and then approve it to show up. Or you could just have the videos automatically show up. For a class intro, I will have them automatically show up. You can upload a resource. So if you had a video you wanted students to watch first, you could do that, or something else students need to do before they watch, you could add that as a resource. And then you would click create topic. There's a few more options down here. If you want to click more options, you can give tips. You write it or speak in complete sentences, or whatever like that. Any attachments, so any other assignment directions, I would attach those there. And then you can preset them so they would launch on a specific date. You can allow students to edit their videos and do stuff like that. You can allow student-to-student replies, which is great for asynchronous type discussions. You can allow students to have attachments and all that. And then you can choose how you want to give feedback to students as well. So if it's something that's graded, you could build in a rubric straight in here with the responses. When I'm done, I click create topic. Oops, let me just give it some text really quick. I'll click create topic. My topic is ready. It has this unique code, and I can from here share to classroom or share with a embed code, copy it, make a QR code, share it to Remind, or share it to Teams. So if I click share to classroom, then I can post it straight from there as an assignment onto Google Classroom. When I click all set, you'll see I have 0 responses. You can record a response here if you want. And then when we go back to the class, you see I have my the default one, and then the one I just created. For this one, it always starts with the say hello on Flipgrid anytime you make a grid. So I can make this inactive. So I can just make it hidden so that students won't see it. I can make it frozen. So if that's a past assignment, but you don't want any more submissions, but you still want students to see it, you can do frozen. Yeah, and then otherwise there's some actions in here. If you want to duplicate it between classes or delete it, you can do all of that. So those are the basics of Flipgrid.